was going to say this after the meal, but I'll say something else. Don't worry, it's not going to be a 25-minute monologue like Clive James at the wedding. It's only going to be 22.5 minutes. And anyway, I just want to say welcome to everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people here today that have made a really special effort. Our friends from cousins from France, and of course Bevel from Germany, and
Yorkshire.
All the way from Yorkshire, Basil. This is almost a miracle, and of course Pam and Frank from London. So and everybody else, and so very welcome. It's just lovely to see you all here. It's exactly 50 years ago that we were pretty much in this room having our wedding breakfast of roast beef, etc. The whole of that meal came to about £55 for 16 of us, and that's more or less what each served now. Anyway, just wanted to say, enjoy the food.
It's £44
Yes.
Is that
Yes. Somebody else paid for all the wine. I've never worked out who did it. Thank you very much. Right, we're going to have the final toast of the evening. Well, the first toast of the evening.
Cake.
Okay. Yeah, don't forget the cake.
Don't forget the cake.
I said my thank yous for all coming earlier. That's great. It's a really wonderful evening for us. Just a quiet reflection on people that aren't here tonight. Every single one of us here over our 50-year period, Anne and I have been together, we've lost somebody. A wife, a husband, an uncle, an aunt, a nephew, a niece, a school friend, university friend, and they're not here tonight. And some of them weren't even at our wedding. So, I'm not going to toast them, but we just need to think about them, and it's part of our fantastic 50 years together. So, some of you have seen the film show, or the slideshow that's on the computer there and sent you earlier today. There's one picture there, photo there, that is everybody that was at our wedding, except our minister, that didn't invite himself to our lunch. He did come along. And there were 17 people in that picture. Now, very carelessly, we've lost two of our friends from the OU, Margaret and John Holmes. We don't know where they are or where they went. So that's rather stupid of us to let that friendship go. So that leaves 15. Now 5 of those went off to Australia. So that was my sister Margaret, who sent me a lovely email this morning, sending her best wishes to everybody. And so that leaves 10. And very unfortunately, 5 of that 10 are really not with us. And that includes my mother, Anne's mother and father, and Uncle Harry, who was very close to the Dark family. And in some ways, sadness even more is my best man, who was getting all emotional.
Take breath. Take breath.
And I really miss him. Anyway, so that leaves 5, and of course that includes Anne and I. And there are 3 people here tonight that were here exactly 50 years ago, to the day, to the Friday, and that's Basil. Hey. You're a survivor. My sister Jennifer. And second cousin removed, all the way from France. And let's talk a little bit about Muriel. Because really, it's all your fault. Absolutely. At the time, 1972, Mira and I were living together. Oh. And what I mean by that is that we had a flat each in a big house that actually belonged to Cleo Lane and John Danquist.
Name dropper.
They were the local Hollywood people around, and of course wonderful musical people. And I was very fortunate. I had Cleo's bathroom as part of my flat. Totally mirror type. All the way around. Mirror everywhere. What an experience, just walking walking into the bathroom, let alone anything else you might be doing in there. Anyway, one day, Muriel and her other flatmates decided to have a party. And they invited me. And she said, my cousin's coming. And so I thought, well, that's fine. I'll have a go. And I didn't peep out of my window when I heard this little sports car roar up. And it was very little, this sports car, the frog-eyed sprite. And I saw these slender, long legs, clad in white, emerge from this little sports car. And I thought, And later on, across a very crowded room, our eyes met. Well, let's say, coin a phrase, the rest is history. Anyway, we never really remember that anybody proposed to one another. We did spend a few hours walking up and down Hatton Gardens, very classy, and we did end up buying a little local ring for engagement. And then Anne said, well, if we are to get married, then you must buy me a house. This is the way you do it. And then she said, not only do you buy me a house, but it must have an apple tree. Now, fortunately, Milton Keynes Development Corporation were handing out free vouchers for every new house you bought.
73.
Yes. And so I went down to the local forest and bought myself an apple tree and planted it. That's not really the end of the story because, as you know, we got married in deep November, and it was a horrible day in other respects. When was, and it was only just down the road here in Husband Crawley. That's a little church down there. We had a wonderful blessing service there, and then we came back here for our wedding breakfast. And a couple of weeks later, well, firstly, we were very unsocial. We just tore off to Gatwick and got the midnight plane to New York. Well, we had just 3 nights in New York. It rained for the whole 3 days, which was terrific.
That's a good
I think at one point we emerged for a flamenco show. Anyway, when she came back, a couple of weeks later, our house was ready for us, which is only a mile away from where we live now. And it was a brand new house. And this is where Basil comes in, because along with his Land Rover and big trailer, we completely stripped out his flat. And has quite nicely disappeared into darkest Kent, unfortunately with a nasty bout of flu. So it's left up to us to strip this flat of furniture and every belongings in it, including a very heavy upright piano, down multiple steps. And it got onto the truck and it was raining, completely ruined the varnish with the rain. Eventually it was stripped completely down to bare wood. And we got to our new house. It was a Saturday, we were a little bit late. Well, we had to plough through the mud on this new estate. The foreman, of course, had given up and gone home. Not a key in sight to get into the house. So Basil broke out the toolkit and we took off the back kitchen window. Nobody knew I was there for 2 or 3 days. The window was never the same. And that's where we started. And of course, kids sort of disappeared. No, you weren't there. You were just a little glimmer. Just a little glimmer still. But we did have 5 cats at one point. But anyway, we broke in, sorted out the house. I was going to say to the children or everybody else, really, given the energy query and problems we have today, no central heating. This was late December by this time, and we had 1 gas fire, 1 paraffin heater, wasn't it? And that's how we heated our house for the next couple of years, until again Brother Basil came to our rescue, stayed for a week, fitted our house completely with a second heating system. So that's how we began. We were down the road, we ate here, we lived in our house only a mile away from where we live now with our lovely neighbours. And so I want to toast from us, Anne and I, to all of you, and from all of you, hopefully, to us. Health, wealth, happiness, and above all, love.
For health, happiness, and love. Cheers. Chin chin.
What he said.
Cheers.
And Becky will now cut the cake, or somebody will cut the cake.
We've got one more little.
Oh.
I'm willing to say a few words.
So I know it's not on weddings, we haven't got speeches,
But Pam and I have got a couple of poems.
it's a ditty.
Pam's
It's
gonna-
not a poem.
Oh, it's a
not
ditty.
poem. It's a ditty.
Ditty.
And then I'm going to.
And it's just a very, and I just want to read it. You can have it and you can throw it away afterwards. I don't know.
No.
You can keep the frame. So,
Okay,
here we go. 50 golden years. We should be together. Anne and John wed in 72. The 25th of November, a day to remember. Many memories made every year. With family and friends they hold so dear. Loving parents and grandparents too, supporting them always as they grew. Through the ups and downs of married life, they helped each other as husband and wife. So many interests they shared together, from cruising to twitching, whatever the weather. Anne's garden is a joy to behold, enjoyed by so many, she has been told. John's passion for sport and his car. For Milton Keynes Dons, he will travel near and far. Anne likes to cook and to bake. Foodie John will always eat cake.
You know me so well.
They should look back with pride on all they've achieved. So many memories, so special indeed. We congratulate them on their 50 years. More memories to make, free from tears. We send lots of love and best wishes for many more years of happiness together. So, to John,
Thank you very much. That was wonderful.
just a little, that's all right, no.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. Oh, I don't want to do mine now.
You dance
Chin chin.
Right.
Right.
There she goes.
I don't want to follow that. It was really good. It was really good. So, again, it's a ditty. Right, I've called it Through the Decades. Yeah? So, the 70s is where this story begins, with a winter wedding. Then in 2 years, twins. Yes. Born in February 74, Alex and I made this family 4. 2 cats made it 6. Puff and Chico their names. 30 Blackdown, our house. Purple garage, who's to blame? 70s. Memories of Christmas with Gilbert and Jean. Who can forget Florence and the whipped cream? We'll tell you that one later. The 80s were colourful. The garage turned red. Working at the OU and holidaying in the Med. The Bruffles, the Johns, the Coopers and the Wests. Friends from this era were some at the best. Then a house in Fairways bought a cul-de-sac of dreams. The Hollands, the Manns and the Hunts. What a team. The 90s saw change with kids leaving school, and at last and peace and more time at the Bannatyne pool. The naughties brought grandchildren, so much fun and joy. Not much spare time with these busy boys. Max, then Frank, and then Phoebe Rose. A ray of sunshine keeping us all on our toes. And finally, in 2022, we reached this golden day, 50 years on, so let's raise a glass and cheer, hip hip hooray. But before this mini trip through the decades ends, another toast to you, our family and friends.
We'd obviously done too, and then we're like, oh no, and then we put them totally.
Oh, they were lovely and just so appreciated. Lovely. I've got to do this.
We're going to throw them for Phoebe. She's going to throw yours through the day.